Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here's my watch list for May 21st. All right, some of you might probably be wondering why I didn't post a watch list last night. Well, in Canada here, it was a long weekend and it was Victoria Day, so my regular job actually had me working, hence I was offline. That's why I didn't make a watch list for last night. Anyways, tomorrow it's my day off from the regular gig, so I'm back at it trading. Let's take a look at the futures here real quick. Nonetheless, I was actually keeping a half eye on the markets and following what the hell was going on today. Very interesting day indeed, with the weekend Trump announcing the ban on Huawei, and basically that move in itself has caused some panic in specific sectors. More importantly, I do want to talk about some stocks that would be mostly affected by this news. I mean, with the Huawei being banned, a lot of tickers here in the US have revenues depending on Huawei, and quite notably Qualcomm and Intel and MU and yeah, some of these companies are affected. NVDA as well. They are affected on the revenue side of this news. So these are some tickers that I will be watching on the side tomorrow. With that said, taking a look at the futures right now, we are gapping up by 9 points. And what's very interesting to me right now, let's bring in the SPY. Okay, the SPY, this intraday chart does not do it justice, to be quite honest. What the hell is going on, right? Let's get into the daily chart, and you'll see that I've marked off this trend line. Okay, so basically from Trump tweeting from the all-time highs about the trade wars, we have been in a slight downtrend, and then eventually it looks like that we did find some sort of a bottom over here on May 13th, and then we set in a higher low on May 15th. Today on the gap down, very interestingly enough, it held this trend line right up here, okay? And this trend line was exactly at 283, over or under 283, right? If I were to map it off, yeah, over under 283. I was talking to a friend this morning, telling her to watch the 283.50. So with that said, we are coming into a little wedge pattern here, if I may, a wedge pattern from the downtrend a couple of weeks ago. Now, whether this wedge will break out to the top or the bottom, we don't know. Just know that we are in some sort of a decision mode right now with the overall market. Hence, a big move is coming up or down, right? With that said, I do want to take a look at if I'm going to be following this trend line. I mean, as it sold off, it bounced back hard today on the SPY, and we are gapping up $1. If we are going to follow this trend line, this 283.50 to 284 area would be a very key watch. Let's go to the intraday real quick. Okay, and I want to map off right here this 284 area. We'll call it 284 because it's a nice psychological whole number. Almost there. There we go. Okay, now we are gapping up about 90 cents from the close, so almost $1. So we are at 285.80s, 285.70. So I want to map that off as well. Now, before midnight strikes, we don't know, because the Asian markets might open too. We don't know, but it's looking like it's about to go up, right? This 285.80 area, very, very key, as you can see, as almost as key as the 285 in itself, right? Let's mark that off real quick. Okay, so what I want to see is, I only want to be, if I'm long biased tomorrow, I want to see this 284, 284.50, 283.50 hold, okay, for the long. And to ride it up and perhaps test these resistance area. If we're gapping up though, I'm expecting a pullback at the open and hold one of these key areas support. With that said, overall the strategy to trading in itself has to change, because if I'm scrolling back for the past 10 to 14 days here, you can see that we are kind of in like a sideways box range, and the moves are not really sustaining. I mean, yeah, this up move sustained, but then here it quickly failed, right? A push and then a fail, and then a fail, and then chop back up. It failed today, right? And then the push again. So we are getting very choppy. The moves are not really sustaining as a very trendy move. With that said, the mentality and the strategy going into the trading day needs to change. And instead of trading all day hold type of trend, I'm looking for move to move type of setup. And perhaps, I mean, if I do get in on a good move, I will obviously leave some on and see if I can hit the jackpot home run here. But with that said, let's get into the watch list. Aside from that, aside from the market in itself, I am watching some notable tickers. More importantly, the recent IPOs that have been coming on, because they are highly anticipated IPOs and they're very well-known names. Even though with all this trade war catalyst and Huawei catalyst coming out, I do think these tickers have a life of its own. And when it comes to these IPOs, I believe the volume is the relative volume is still there. People are still trading it, and it's still the flavor. With that said, this is why I keep them on watch, and I do expect them to make good moves. Okay, let's load up some drawings on Uber. I really enjoyed trading Uber for the first few days of the IPO. So right now, I know there are a lot of horizontal lines here, but we are still using these same lines currently. With Uber, what's interesting to me is today how it sold off but got bought right back up really quickly. Now, obviously, we know that it IPO'd at 42, and the stock is still trading under it. With that said, I want to look at Friday though. So Friday, when it popped up and failed, it looks like a lot of shorts have piled in. I mean, probably even from this day when it double topped here at the 44, they probably piled in as well. So with that said, actually, you can draw a downtrend line here. And let's see how this downtrend line maps out. Kind of like that. Let's turn off the pre-market data real quick. Let's try this again. Okay. So with the pre-market data turned off, you can see that the downtrend line is coming, the stock is coming right into this downtrend line. Okay. Personally, with this action today, how it got bought right back up from the $40 area here, we now know the 40 is a very major support area. I do like it for the long side, as long as tomorrow it holds above 40.75 to 41. So this key area here, 41, how it broke out, came down at the end of the day, got bought right back up. As long as today it holds between this area of 40.75, I do like the long. Anywhere in here, actually, right? I do like the long play on that. As you can see, it's kind of like a box range, a sideways range that it traded before, right? And then from here, it got up, came down, and today it actually reclaimed this range and it's holding above it. So tomorrow, what I want to see is a dip at the open, and I want to see a hold in this support area and then get long. If it doesn't hold though, definitely drop that idea. However, we know that and we understand that the opening print was at 42, and this technical downtrend line for the past 3 days is holding it down. So if you want, if it fails tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised either. I mean, it might just pop up a little, attack this 42 a little bit, top out, and then roll over. So anything can happen. So two sets of theories along above the support area tomorrow, or if it breaks out, right, of the 42, I might buy the breakout of the 42 as well for short squeeze long, because the 42 is a very important area. However, if it fails from 42, then I'm gonna try to short it down, and that's gonna tell me that this thing is not ready to run. Okay, so a few ideas here on Uber. Next up, we are also focusing on LYFT as well. Let's load up some drawings on LYFT. LYFT. LYFT is as bad as the overall market is doing. LYFT is actually coming back up. I mean, it opened gap down and got bought right back up. It's coming into some very key resistance area, and this $55 area, to me, I think it's very key. Looking at the day before, on Friday, I think a lot of shorts have piled in here, and we do have kind of like a nice line in the sand. I mean, this 55 area, you know what, let's load it up. Let's load up some drawings real quick. Yeah, okay, so on Friday, a lot of shorts attacked this and it failed. Today, we do see a cover pop coming back up and retracing. So from here at the 55 is very interesting to me. Whether it fails or it breaks out, I'm gonna have to watch this tomorrow. But from the way it's closing so strong, I am anticipating gap up. Okay, and then I'll wait a little bit at the open. It's gonna come back down and dip from the profit take of today. It's gonna dip a little, and if it holds the 55, I do like it for the long squeeze. Up to probably right here, we have key resistance on this May 10th major volume day. The high was at 56.50, and then coming over here, another resistance is May 8th, but I don't know if it's gonna get as high up there tomorrow because of the overall market, right? It's still choppy. It might break out. I do think a squeeze potential will happen at 55. So definitely a good watch tomorrow. If it fails 55, then I'm going to short it. Or if I miss the long, I'll just wait until it hits some sort of a resistance around the 56 to 56.50 area. 56.50 right here is a major level. Okay, so if it fails from there, I'll short it right back down. So LYFT two ways. Zoom. Zoom was very overextended, and today's pullback was definitely, well, I wouldn't say predictable, it's understandable. Now, what's interesting on Zoom is this 87.60 area. It topped out on Thursday. It held a horizontal level on Friday, and today it topped out here Monday again. Now, if you take a look at just the past 3 days, it looks like a head and shoulders forming, right? So once this neckline snapped, and the neckline is right here at the 84 area, once it snaps, it might come all the way down, and we have some levels to test. So here at the $82, and then over here where it started the breakout at 79.25. 79.25. So this area, this $80 area, very key, right? As you can see, it made some major resistance and it broke out. So it does look like it might have another day of pullback, and it could pull all the way back as low to the $80 level here. What I want to see is a pop and drop, perhaps another fail here at the 87.60 area, and then short it right back down. If it opens and stays under, gaps down and stays under this 84 area, I do I might want to take it short and play it against the 84 on small size because I am shorting a breakdown. With that said, I have some target levels here. This 82, 81, 85 area. Okay, so the low of this candle, the low of Friday, okay, we have some major volume here, right, at 10 o'clock. And then right here at 9:30 on this candle on May 16th. So this is a key area, 84. Okay, that's Zoom, Head and Shoulders. Luckin Coffee, second day of the IPO. Today, on the order flow side, in the beginning at the open, the sell side was very heavy, but as it progressed throughout the day, it kind of sort of balanced out a little bit now, and it looks like it's basing. And I do like this company. Fundamentally, they are very strong, and their story is very inspiring indeed. We have a new low of day today at 1840. The key area I want to watch is the 19 area. The $20 mark is nice and psychological, and then 21 is where it topped out today. So I want to see if it can actually hold this 1850 to 1840 support, right? If it does tomorrow, then I'll get long and try to ride it back up. However, I mean, I can keep the stop nice and tight, give it to 18 bucks, right? 40 cents, because we don't know where the next area of support is, right? Stock opened at $17. The open valuation was at 17, right? And it basically on IPO day, it just shot up and through. So this little pullback here is, I would have expected it to pull back from heavy selling, since the underwriters need to make money too. And maybe tomorrow we get another day down. We don't know, right? I do want to try to long it first, and if it fails, I'll just quickly get out and cut my losses quick, and then I'll just wait for the bottom. Okay. With that said, do I want to short? Maybe. I don't know yet. I don't know if I want to short this yet. It needs to prove to me that it can't break out. So I mean, let's find some nice trend line here. I mean, okay, so we have a nice trend line over here. The $19 is very key. Okay, I want to see it hold above 19 to continue to hold long, but aside from that, we'll see. LK, Luckin Coffee, very interesting. Apple's going to be on side watch for me. What is interesting to me on Apple is how today it gapped down so much, but however it got bought right back up to open to close kind of flat on the day. Now what this is though is a major fail or major snap of this 185 support area, right? And then from here we also have another major support area right here. With the stock gapping down so much, it didn't surprise me for it to get bought right back up. It's more of I think it could be like a retracement day, right? We know that it has snapped major support, so it now becomes resistance. Coming over here on the daily chart, if I zoom out a little bit and put up the 185 line or 184.70 line, you'll see that it matches very well from last year as well, right? So we are coming into some heavy resistance. Today, when it got bought right back up, it looks like it's a retracement. We'll have to see what it does from here tomorrow. So what I'm looking at is a resistance area of 184.80 to 185. It needs to stay under. Okay, I am anticipating a pop tomorrow into this area, and I'm looking for a fail. And then if it breaks out though, I'll just wait. And the next key area of resistance is 186.50. So 186.50, and I'm going to mark this off red. I'll show you why. It's a key resistance area, and zooming out, yeah, a few days, this is probably enough. Okay, a few days is probably enough. It was the low on Friday, it was the low on Wednesday, and then we had prior chop range support here. And yeah, overall on the daily chart, you can see that we are in some type of this box range. So even if it does get back into this range, I don't think it's going to break out right away from the range. It's going to chop in and out about it. What I want to see is the stock getting held down and not get back up into this range. So I do like it short, and perhaps test the low of today at 180 again. Okay, so that's Apple. QCOM I want to talk about. Very similar to Apple. I mean, major gap down. I talked about this on the intro of my watch list video here with the Trump Huawei news. Qualcomm does rely on Huawei a bit on their revenue. It's about 5% of their revenue source comes from Huawei. So that's why the major gap down, and it's looking pretty weak. So let's load up some drawings here. QCOM. Okay, so QCOM, very simple support and resistance here. 78 being a key resistance level, and then we have 78.35 area, which was the high of today. What it did today is there's that 78, which is coming into here, this daily chart, the low on April 18th. And what we have today, I want to see a pop and drop. And if the 76 can snap, this thing has a lot of room to come down and perhaps fill the gap. The 76.50 is what I'm looking at right now currently, okay? Because this is this doji's bottom wick here. And after this area snaps, there is really nothing holding it up until it reaches the 71 mark. Okay, so let's take a look here on the daily chart, zooming out. Yeah, okay, so 76.50, very key, right? If it snaps, then we have a major gap to fill. I do anticipate 74 to hold it up a little bit over here from this area. So let's take a look at that. I know it's a little far out, but there's no way this stock is just going to fall straight down though. So it might find areas to bounce off and retrace a little bit. And then we also have the 72.50 area as well, right? Okay, so QCOM, very interesting. And finally, I have ROKU on chart. Now, what ROKU is strong. ROKU is hella strong, even with the choppiness of the overall market and how it's trying to sell off, right? ROKU is still holding up, and it's really diverging from the action of the SPY. What I want to see tomorrow is a dip and hold, right? A pullback from today was necessary because it's ran so many days in a row. It looks like it does want to pull back down a little bit closer to the 9 EMA. What I'm watching here is, let me see if I have some drawings on here in ROKU. I don't think I saved any. Oh, perfect. ROKU. What I want to see is probably a breakout of the 84 and stay above. Let's see. Today, 83 on the daily chart. Oh, okay. This major candle on the earnings run up, right? The high is 83.50 or 83.35. So give or take some room here. We're trading a little bit above it. I want to see a gap up and hold above it. And then as long as it holds above this 83.50, this range of the earnings run, as long as it hold above this high here, I do like it for the long and test the highs again over here on ROKU, because ROKU can definitely squeeze a lot. Okay, I do like that. If the SPY is going to run tomorrow, it's going to cause Roku to run even more. That's the idea behind Roku, okay, because of the divergence. Okay, so that's basically my watch list this evening. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. One more quick announcement. If you haven't already, sign up for the free trading challenge and the trading contest. The winner does get a nice prize there. It's absolutely free and no obligation to sign up, right? Also, I do want to say that if you are interested in looking into a platform to use, I mean, on Luck and Coffee, I shorted day one of the IPO on Friday, and somebody actually mentioned, hey, how can you short? It's IPO day. There weren't any short locates, and I was actually able to short this ticker because of my broker, right? And I had the photo proof of it, how I shorted it, and how much I made. I sent it to that guy, so he basically don't have much of a rebuttal. My point is that these tickers, my broker does have shorts on day one of IPO, and if you're very interested in this, right now they're doing a major discount. The link is in the description below. The intro account, the introductory package, is only $350, and you get a buying power of 14K, and you get to short these IPOs, right? The max you would lose is your own 350. They would not charge you for the margin because they do stop you out when you hit a max loss, right? With that said, definitely look into it. Major discounts going on. Video link description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Ciao.